Now, many of you already know that NIO has integrated some of their operation from their sub-brand into NIO, meaning that they are the teams of both the sub-brand and NIO, ladies and gents, are working hand in hand in some of the projects, and these came after NIO, of course, introduced, or the CEO wrote a letter of cutting down some of the staff, or 10% of their staff, to improve efficiency and, of course, cut in to their expenses. This is something that was pretty good, as even big analysts came out and said that by the 10% cuts, we could see NIO saving over $200 million dollars on a yearly basis, based on that, of course, initiative which they started and should have been concluded by November of 2023. Now, this is pretty good to get to see, of course, NIO utilizing, or NIO using NIO staff onto their sub brand. Means that, of course, they are doing this to be more efficient. I mean, you will know that the sub brand by the name of Alps, it is expected to be launched this year, even in fact now in Q1, which is something that is pretty amazing, and we are expecting two models coming from the sub brand, and one is the SUV whilst the other is the sedan. And this is a very competitive sub brand for NIO, because price range, we know that is between 200 and 300,000 RMB. So yesterday we got to be reminded by an article from CNF Post indicating the integration of some of the operations from the NIO sub brand, namely Alps, into NIO. Now, what the article also stressed is that the integration of the two companies is mainly on the cockpit and autonomous driving, meaning that the NIO's team is helping, of course, Alps with cockpit and autonomous driving, which are some of the most important things onto these EV cars. So these are some, of course, or these are the two main things that the two companies are integrating amongst each other. Otherwise, many of the other, of course, operations, Alps is still running those operations in itself, which is something that, of course, shows you that it is not all the operations that NIO has integrated their sub brand with them, but rather it is the cockpit and the autonomous driving sections of the entire car. Now, this makes me to be really excited, because number one, this makes NIO, ladies and gents, to save costs in terms of the fees or money that they would have to pay for the team, or the Alps team that will be developing the cockpit and the autonomous driving operations, which is something that to get to see that it's being done by NIO, or Alps is being helped by NIO, it means that NIO is saving there. And this makes sense that, of course, NIO cut some pretty good number into the Alps team, because they are trying to cut off their expenses, which is something that, of course, we know that investors were not really happy about the net losses that NIO has been reporting each and every quarter, which to know, or to get to see NIO cutting or announcing the 10% staff and integrating some of the teams or some of the NIO team with their sub-brand teams to work hand in hand makes me, or made me, to be really excited. So the letter that, of course, the CEO wrote last year indicated that some positions will have to be merged, meaning that instead of having two positions, they will only have one position, whereby you will see or find the NIO, of course, employee also doing some of the works on the sub-brand side, which I think it's quite efficient. I mean, the article yesterday indicated that the NIO's team for cockpit can do almost anything, even for the sub-brand side, which is something that must just show you that it is not really necessary, or it was a smart move by NIO to, of course, make some of these positions to save them cost. Now, he said that the Alps stores will open in the third quarter of 2024, meaning that in the second half, or sometime between July and, of course, September of 2024, we will see the Alps brand stores opening. But one of the things that you must know about Alps is that NIO has been approaching dealerships or big dealerships in China to help them sell their sub-brand. So the sub-brand will not be sold, or the sub-brand will not be sold under the Neo brand, or you will not find the Neo sub brand into the Neo stores, but rather you'll find, or this sub brand will have its own stores and other dealerships helping Neo sell these, of course, a sub brand or their sub brand. I mean, there's already apparently a trial that has been done with one of the big dealers in China, apparently in the first half of 2023, which is something that is pretty amazing because it shows progress. It's just that we don't know how far Neo is getting some of these dealers to help them sell these cars, or if whether they've shortlisted and got the right dealers that will be doing or helping them sell their sub brand. But one thing that we know is that, ladies and gents, in the second half we are going to see Alps starting to hit the ground when it comes to sales, which is something that I think almost all of the new investors are waiting for that. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I'd just give you this quick update. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment and subscribe, and once subscribed, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least to get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, I'm very excited that Neo is doing whatever they can to reduce the costs in their business, to reduce their spending into their business or cash burns, which is something that it's pretty amazing. I mean, the first letter that the new CEO wrote or sent out to all employees this year indicated that they want to be more efficient, or they want to be a more efficient organization or company, which is something that makes me to have some sort of a relief to say that probably the big spending or the big cash burns that we saw last year, we might not see them probably this year, or I hope not to see them this year, because the Neo is more, of course, concerned about spending, which is something that is very important to a business. I think last year it is safe for me to can say that probably they were not cautious 100%, or they were not that cautious about spending, but right now they are cautious, and probably we see things improving, especially in the company's net losses. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.